My name is Jackie Schimmel and I wanna dodge oncoming traffic this morning.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bitch Bible podcast. It is Memorial Day, and this episode is presented to you by a depletion of cortisol levels, a serotonin plummet, and deep-rooted trauma and humiliation that will never be rectified. Jackie, why so glum? Well, it's a funny little tale, one that could bring a tear to the most dehydrated retina. I'd like to take you back to last week. It was a overcast, chilly Wednesday morning, and I look at that girl and I don't even know her. I had a heart full of optimism, a jovial spirit, a zest for life, a tang, really, and clear optics. The world was sunny. The sun was shining. The winds were, fire hazardous and oh so beautiful for the blow dry. I had a twinkle in my eye. And, when you get too close to the lights, or when you let them, illuminate you, or what you think is going to illuminate you, a little part of your soul dies. And let's just say she believed she could, and she sure as fuck didn't. The day was Wednesday, May 22nd. I got a very exciting call that, I was going to get a billboard in Times Square. And I can't tell you, as a long-winded narcissist, the thought of my severely digitally altered and snatched face a la 4 years ago, and my name in lights in Times Square for a simple suburban gal like me, that'll really get your dick hard, And I grappled with this as a mother, as a human, and as someone who notoriously says she doesn't live for the lights. That's a fucking lie. That's a fucking lie. I'm a liar, a fraud, and a loser. So on Wednesday, I get the call, Jackie, we've done it. NASDAQ has cleared your billboard. You're going to be on a 5-story building in the heart of Times Square. I said, what? Me? Never. They said, pack your bags, Schimmel. You're going to the Big Apple. I said, and this is a true story. On Wednesday, I was going back and forth. I thought, does it feel a little unhinged to leave my child last minute, hightail it to New York, just to sit in Times Square for, 43 minutes to see my billboard, and just dodge pigeons and risk chlamydia just to go see it for myself? Doesn't it all feel a bit self-indulgent, self-gratuitous, narcissistic, and just a little too conceited and egomaniacal, if you will? Now, hindsight being 2020, the answer to all of those questions is yes, but of course. I think it's also very important to discuss this publicly. I think it's important to celebrate yourself. And, once my cortisol levels stabilize and I'm a little bit more removed from my traumatic experience, maybe I'll feel that way again. But for now, I'm damaged goods. But, before my trauma, I was very adamant about celebrating things, making small things big things, because you could get hit by a bus tomorrow. Maybe in Times Square. At least you could live to see the billboard. Not this girl! It is crucial and imperative that you understand the severe internal pendulum swing that took place within 24 fucking hours. Now, Clyde in recent days has become inexponentially adorable, like Zoftic and smiley and lovey and obsessed with me, and is literally trying to burrow back inside my vagina on a semi-regular basis, and I'm loving every second of it. We have really just turned a corner, and he is so cute that I can't physically look at him for too long because my foot starts to twitch, because I want to throw him up into open air and drop kick him into a cement wall. That's how I feel when I look at him. I don't know what to do because I'm so overwhelmed with love that I lose motor skills. I freak the fuck out. Like, I want to run him over with my car. Now, if you're a little bit stupid and you don't get that that's a joke, I worry about you, I wonder about you, and I feel sorry for you. It's a pity thing. Moving right along. So on Wednesday, being that I didn't have concrete travel plans, it's a little last minute. It would be a lot of last minute arranging things to cover so that I could go do this. Was I going to bring Clyde and Andrew? Was I not going to bring Clyde and Andrew? How would I supplement my absence with people to help me take care of Clyde and Andrew while I'm gone? What time am I going to fly? What am I going to wear? My roots aren't done. I need a fresh blow dry. All of the things that a deeply, deeply surface level, sad, broken individual thinks about when attending their probably one and only NASDAQ, which, by the way, NASDAQ, if you're watching this, oh, that's not my camera. Here's my camera. NASDAQ, I think you are a bunch of low down, dirty frauds. Frauds, okay? I don't trust you, and I don't like you, and I don't even know what NASDAQ stands for, but I've got beef with you, and I have beef with the women's American fencing team, who bogarted my alleged billboard for upwards of an hour and a half, and you know who cares about women's fencing? Fucking nobody. Not one person. It's violent. It's unnecessary. It's deeply, deeply unnecessary. The only women's fencing I'm interested in is Lindsay Lohan versus Lindsay Lohan and fucking Parent Trap a la 1997. Like, clap for the fencing team. Ooh, they get to ring the bell. Nobody cares. That's just my personal animosity towards the fencing team, who I gazed at upwards, dodging pigeons with my fucking cooler for an hour and a half. Ding, ding, ding. Anyways, I threw my clothes and my carry-on, because what kind of broken bitch travels with a checked bag? Any trip that's less than a week, you have to carry on. If you have to check a bag for a 3-day trip, you're untraveled, uncultured, and a real pain in the fucking ass. Like, you need to learn how to edit. I had a friend that every time we would go on a trip, there was like 18 checked bags. And I'm like, bitch, we're going for 2 days. You don't need to bring a patent leather trench coat, okay? We're going to Ojai. You don't need to pack like we're fleeing the fucking country. It's weird. It feels distraught and aimless. I can't explain it. I throw my shit in my carry-on. I book a last-minute flight, which cost an obscene amount of money. Obscene. And I sat behind John Legend, though. That was kind of interesting. Do you know, when I get a couple drinks on a plane, or just in life in general, sometimes I have the urge to do just weird things and then see how they pan out. Like, all I kept thinking about is how funny it would be if I just kind of leaned forward and I went, all of me loves all of you. Like, sometimes I get the urge to just have an insular joke moment with no clarity or no, like, just for me, just for shits and giggles. I refrained because I'm a lady and I didn't want to be detained because I had a billboard to get to. So I take off at 6 a.m. I had to wake up Thursday morning at 3 a.m., get my corpse-like ass on the plane, land in New York City, ready to rumble, supposed to be having this billboard go live on Friday. So I book the most beautiful hotel, which, by the way, not an ad, just a solid endorsement. The Hotel Phuket in New York is maybe aesthetically one of my favorite hotels I've ever stayed at. I loved everything. I wanted to lick the bathroom vanity and the tiles. Everything is perfect. The woodwork, the light fixtures, the paint colors, the linens, the furniture, the velvet, the brass details, the wallpaper, the antique sconces. I mean, everything is like, my nipples are throbbing just thinking about it. That was the highlight of my trip, to be quite honest. It was so beautiful. The location's awesome. The staff, everyone is fucking lovely. Oh God, it was great. Anyways, silver linings. So, wait, I haven't had a chance to talk about this because, I've just been lodged inside my own asshole and I've had guests recently, but I need to talk about P. Diddy. This is a very sharp right. Then we'll get back to me. P. Diddy and Cassie. First of all, we should believe women the first time. Secondly, P. Diddy, I hope that you get ruthlessly, we might have to cut this out, but we won't. I hope that fucker rots in jail and gets aggressively against his will butt fucked at 2-minute intervals for the rest of his life until he dies in jail. If that's too turbo, I'm really sorry. I don't buy his apology. You don't get to apologize after you've denied the altercation. You don't get to then conveniently jump in front of your Instagram reel camera and tell us how sorry you are and how much work you've done onto yourself. I think we're about to see the unfolding of the problematic history of P. Diddy and all the shit he's been up to. And meanwhile, we have just turned a blind eye. Whatever hotel took $50,000 to relinquish that security footage, jail. You're disgusting. There is blood on your hands. I don't know how you sleep at night. I could not watch that video. Even when I talk about it, I get such a pit in my stomach. That's what he did to her in public, in a hallway, in a hotel, where anybody could have opened their fucking door and taken a look-see-loo and seen P. Diddy in a fucking towel beating the shit out of poor Cassie. That's what he did in public. Do you know what he must have done behind closed doors for all this time? And allegedly, people are trying to link P. Diddy to Tupac and all of that shit. And I think it's going to be a wild ride moving forward. And I just hope that he gets, oh God, I just annihilated in jail. Annihilated. Putting the anal in annihilated, which he might fucking like. So whatever he doesn't like, I hope that shit happens to him. Because you know what? I'm not into fucking forced forgiveness. I don't think you need to forgive to be a better person and move on. What he did is unforgivable. I don't care if he gets a fucking lobotomy. I don't care how much therapy or whatever. He was denying the entire scenario up until he fucking got caught. So riddle me this. Where's the empathy there? Where's the work? No, you're a piece of fucking shit, and pieces of shit should get flushed. I hope P. Diddy has anal fissures for the rest of his days to a degree where it feels like every time he pops a squat in his cell, that it feels like he is sitting on a polyblend thong of razor blades. That's what I wish for him. I hope he gets chlamydia. I hope he gets herpes. I hope he gets a maximum sentence. I want him to be someone's bitch. And I want there to be legal consequences to the maximum degree. That's what I want. I want justice for Cassie. I implore and encourage, like I did weeks ago, for everybody to go stream and listen to Long Way to Go. And me and you, let's revive her bops from the early 2000s that did not get enough respect. And for the dumb fucks who are like, well, then why did she stay? Maybe because she was afraid for her fucking life. Gold digger. Like, I've read comments like that, and I think to myself, let's just simplify. How fucking stupid do you have to be to see a video like that and that's your default response? That's a you thing. Your life is going to be terrible. You know why? Because your mechanics are faulty. If that's what you're thinking, if that's your viewpoint, you're stupid and your mechanics are faulty. The sun is shining, okay? The waves are calling, and it's time for fun in the sun. But is your hair ready for the heat? After my last blow dry, mine definitely isn't. Sun, salt, and SPF can all impact your hair health, so start Nutrafol now to keep your strands feeling strong for summer. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. The last thing I want to think about on the beach is hair thinning, and everyone's root causes of hair thinning is so different. The one-size-fit-all approach to hair growth just doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages. Also, this is physician formulated with drug-free ingredients. Nutrafol's supplements support healthy hair growth from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. I would just like to say firsthand, I started taking Nutrafol right after giving birth, and I was wearing extensions at the time. After a few months of taking Nutrafol, I cannot tell you, my hair regrowth was booming and is booming, and I took out my extensions and my hair has never felt better. That's just a true sentiment from me. You're welcome. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code BIBLE. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Go to Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BIBLE. That is Nutrafol.com, promo code BIBLE. I am so happy I found our next sponsor, Marley Spoon. I love to cook a fancy little dinner, but I hate all the prep work and shopping and thinking about what to cook, blah, blah, blah. It takes up valuable time that I should be using to watch, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reruns or something. Marley Spoon knows bland food is boring, which, let's be honest, is the problem with most meal kits. So they created the best tasting meal kit money can buy. And with my code BITCHBIBLE, you can get up to 25 free meals. With Marley Spoon, you can choose from over 100 delicious recipes every week, from jumbo shrimp tortilla soup, get out of here, to Tuscan sheet pan salmon, to butternut squash gnocchi. Last night I made these grilled chicken tostadas with refried black beans, and I loved them. Andrew loved them, and Leo loved what fell on the floor. And a lot of the recipes are completely customizable, whether you're looking for vegetarian meals, family-friendly dishes, low-carb options. Marley Spoon has the food you want to eat. They also save you from making that extra grocery haul with their online market of pantry essentials. You can shop their selection of 125 plus items like seasonal produce, ready to heat options, meal shortcuts, and handy snacks. Experience the most personalized meal kit today with Marley Spoon. Head to marleyspoon.com/offer/bitchbible and use code bitchbible for up to 25 free meals. That is right, up to 25 free meals with Marley Spoon. One last time, that is marleyspoon.com/offer/bitchbible for up to 25 free meals, and make sure you use my promo code BITCHBIBLE so they know that I sent you. So I get to New York, we hit the ground running. I'm so excited to be there, the Windy City. I fucking love New York. I mean, I did start to feel like I was going to lose a colon on those cobble streets because it took me 2 hours to get to my hotel from JFK, and I had basically an ice cream sundae, a cheese plate, a stuffed chicken, and like a shrimp tartlet, which wasn't sitting so well for me. And I really did think that I was going to defecate myself on the way to the hotel. That and an early flight, like it just wasn't, it wasn't slapping for me digestively. Made it to the hotel, so happy, immediately went and had cocktails in the hidden bar at Fouquet's in New York, which is chef's kiss, delicious. Had 2 blue cheese martini olives, went to dinner, and crashed. Reset like a dream. Woke up Friday, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Now, when I checked into my hotel, friends, family, work people had been sending me like congratulatory cocktails, macaroons, flowers, champagne. I really, everything was on the up and up. And I went from 24 hours being like, oh, this is just embarrassing. This is so cringe. Me going all the way to New York and like leaving my family and my baby so I could just go stare at myself alone. Like, that is just yikes. You're turning into someone you would make fun of, Jackie. I mean, obviously, I'm nothing if not consistently hypocritical. But alas, she believed she could, and she almost did. Landed in New York, ready to fucking rumble. I wake up, I think, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't experience this alone. And that was kind of my thought process when I first decided to go to New York. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be demure and low-key and take it all in solo. That's how I best metabolize all of my life moments, ones of sadness, ones of happiness. I am a lone processor. I'm going to bring an open road cock of some delicious Billicart rosé, stand in Times Square, dodging pigeons, look at my billboard, cheers to myself, and then go have a beautiful lunch, demure as ever. But that plan swiftly got kicked to the wayside the second that I felt the lights and the New York heat. My swamp ass kicked in, and I was like, I shouldn't be celebrating this alone. Let's make it an ordeal. So not only do I go on Instagram, I create some form of a meetup, which is just as off-brand as humanly possible. And then I decide to create a spectacle. It's very synonymous with Carrie Bradshaw and her wedding to Big. What started as a small, intimate affair became a goddamn circus. The only thing that was missing was a dead bird. And believe me, I tried. I said, someone bring a baseball bat, because I would have just been... Anyways. So Friday morning, I'm like, everybody... all 2.5 of you, meet me in Times Square. I'll have a cooler, I'll have cocktails, and let's enjoy this moment together. So by Friday morning, I am acting like it is my motherfucking bat mitzvah. I have completely internally shifted. I went from, cringe, demure, I shouldn't. This is so tacky. Who cares? I'm a mother too. I am ordering a cooler. I need 6 packs of ice. I need blue cheese stuffed olives. I need 3 bottles of Beluga, which I will funnel into 1.5 liter Essentia bottles. I need snacks. I need a weave. I need lighting, videographer, professional photographer, and a wind machine, for fuck's sake. So by Friday morning, I'm off to the goddamn races. Okay, nearly 24 hours prior, it was like, yikes, I shouldn't. Like, so, yikes, town, USA, population 1. Cut to me making this all about me, the social event of the goddamn season, okay, amidst the humidity and the hustle and bustle of Memorial Day weekend. So I wake up 6 a.m. in New York, foaming at the mouth with an overbite, ready to fucking rumble. I'm like, see you guys there, 3:30, rain or shine, look for the cooler, leaning into the shtick, leaning into the bit. I call my friend Raymond. I'm like, Raymond, come over to my hotel. We're doing the whole damn thing. You need to find me a videographer in about an hour and a half. He pulls through. We somehow slop it together. Now, in my head, the most embarrassing thing that could have happened that day was that me and Raymond get to Times Square, cooler in tow, and I mean quite literally in tow, and not a soul showed up. That in my head was a worst case scenario. And I had already troubleshot that scenario. So I was like, if that happened, it would be funny. We could roll it in to a bit, okay? An internal bit where I can remove myself from the equation and understand that it is very funny. But regardless, I'll get to see my name in lights, So the day starts creeping by. I go to lunch with Claudia Oshry and Taylor Strecker. Ironically enough, the roller cooler acted as a perfect kind of support system to Claudia's Hermes Kelly bag. So, I mean, that's a visual that I'll just never get out of my head. Hang it in the goddamn Louvre. You know, we enjoy some delicious chicken paillard salads. I do my Vakakta thing where I'm like, well, I'm just in town to see my billboard. It's like kind of cringe. And they're like, no, that's exciting. And I'm like, not really, but like, you know, like I figured I might as well make a weekend out of it. Like doing my whole thing, my self-effacing, like, I don't care, universal reverse psychology, when I am basically slipping and sliding out of my seat, ready to go see myself in Times Square. But I'm playing it as cool as humanly possible. But the buildup in my head is fucking real. Don't forget, I am a double Leo Scorpio rising. So for me, this is a big fucking deal. For me, who have no dreams and have no language skills. You know, I grew up pretty aimless with little to zero goals or dreams. And I do think that's a really beautiful way to exist. Even now, people ask me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Retired, doing nothing, eating salad, buying a top, going to Gelson's, sitting on my ass, watching 14 hours of television. That's my fucking dream. But, you know, baby likes purses, so I got to just bleed out on this microphone. But truly and inherently, I am not someone who has goals or like benchmarks. I don't subscribe to hustle mentality. I don't want to be the best or the greatest at anything. I just want to barely skate by with minimal effort, maximum results, and you know, have the independent financial flexibility to go to nice lunches and go to more expensive markets where I don't have to run into estranged family members. That's all I fucking care about. But, you know, a billboard would be nice. So Raymond and I get in the car. We're on our way to Times Square. I arrive at 3:29 on the dot, desperate as ever, okay? And as I make my way into Times Square, just tweaking all the way with every bird flap, I start to notice, you know, from all pockets of Times Square, beautiful Samaritan supporters kind of congregating around me, like the bitches rolled through. It was not one or two or three people like I had anticipated. It was probably, I think, safe to say like 35 people that came in the middle of a work day on Memorial Weekend in, you know, STD infested Times Square, braving, you know, drive-by shootings, muggings, you know, life-size Minnie Mouse to come sit with me and support me during this special life moment. And I was genuinely touched that people came to support me. And I have to say, what I thought would be a stone cold pack of fucking freakazoids were like the nicest, most normal, well-adjusted, funny people. So thank God they were there to go through these motions with me because they were not fucking weird. Also, shout out to the 21-year-old lesbians that gave me the gold star and the green light to continually lovingly use the word faggot and provided me with a LGBTQIA plus rainbow Statue of Liberty keychain. So that was lovely. And I mean, to the women that brought their boyfriends, one of them was a doctor. I was like, we need a medic on the field because I'm 2 clicks away from having a nervous breakdown. It was a lovely assortment of beautiful, kind, normal people. And for that, I am forever grateful. So the videographer sets up the tripod, okay? It's around 3:30. I thought, give us a little wiggle room and also enough time for me to saunter back to the West Village or wherever my fucking hotel is so that I could have, you know, a celebratory blue cheese olive martini and some oysters at approximately 5:30 and get the fuck out of Times Square. I thought that gave us enough time for people to have their own evenings, but, you know, not get caught in the riffraff. So we get there at 3:30, and the only thing I'm seeing on this alleged billboard location is the American women's fencing team, okay? And talk about a bunch of assholes. Never saw people more excited about a billboard besides me than the fucking fencing team, okay? They were all in patriotic colors, nothing that was overly body flattering. And I get that they're fencers and, you know, they have a craft and a skill set, but like, I'd like some Lukes, you know what I mean? If you're going to go ring that bell, ding, 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 like, I don't know, give us a waistline. Not me telling women athletes to maybe like zhuzh up the outfits. I don't know. I just like, I got that they were going through for a red, white, and blue aesthetic, but it was giving 1998 Mervyn's. And I don't even really remember what they were wearing. I'm just trying to start beef because the American women's fencing team stole my fucking spotlight and my moment. And now we have bad blood. Whatever. So 3:30, it's all about the fencing team. Fencing. Nobody fucking cares, okay? And you know, they were right next to us in Times Square, and I kept trying to like start beef. I wanted it to be like West Side Story. And so I kept like slightly at a very low volume heckling them. And I was like, you stupid fucking cunts. Ooh, cool. You get to ring the bell. Nobody fucking cares. Nobody watches fencing. You fucking sluts. You know, like I kept doing the whole fucking shtick. And 3:30 became 4 o'clock, and then 4 o'clock became 4:30. And you know, after the first 45 minutes, when I had seen multiple ads run like 1,500 times, not including mine, I started getting like a little nervioso, but hope was still alive around 4:15. I call some people from Podcast One. I call some people from the marketing team, publicist, whatever. And I'm like, hey, I've seen an ad for A&E's new vampire show 1,700 times. And if I saw one of the actors walking down the street, I'd probably headbutt them because I'm so sick of their face, but haven't seen even a glimmer of my altered face. So are we sure that it's happening today? They say, yeah, of course. NASDAQ sent over photos and a video. It ran starting this morning. It should run in the queue every, so often. Not getting like concrete details, but, it should have been running multiple times within the hour. So they send over the pictures and the video and I go, okay. I'll just wait. They say it's probably at the top of the hour or right after they ring the bell. So then I'm thinking, okay, maybe it starts at 4:30. Maybe the 4:30, the new queue will start. So it's 4:31 and I'm like to the videographer, I'm like, it's happening. It's happening. Make sure cameras are rolling. And we all congregate and we stare up into the lights. And we're staring and we're staring. I'm barely fucking blinking. My retinas are just starting to get real dehydrated. It's bringing me back to the time that I got conjunctivitis, pink eye in Paris nearly a month and a half ago. Because God forbid, things work out. So I'm blinking. The faint smell of crusted homeless urine wafts over me and I think, God, we're in New York. We've done it, Schimmel. I'm looking, I'm blinking. And there's nothing. We see the queue run 5 times over. I'm not in that motherfucking queue. I look back at the photos and the videos that were sent from NASDAQ, okay? And I notice in the photos that it looks almost AI generated. Like I'm not seeing the scaffolding. We're not seeing the movement of the people in the office building. I think, maybe they edit that out so it's a cleaner shot, but something is feeling motherfucking hinky to me. My contacts are barraging NASDAQ for some form of information. How many times is it supposed to run? What time? What queue is it in? They're giving us a lot of very vague, inefficient answers, okay? They insist it's been running all day. I am staring up at this goddamn screen for almost 2 hours and I have not seen it once, okay? I have no footage from the flesh. Now I'm starting to think that NASDAQ has a one-woman vendetta against me, similar to the one-woman vendetta at Meta Facebook that got me kicked off Instagram for 3 times. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying that maybe, allegedly, NASDAQ doesn't like Jewish people. I'm totally joking. That's a joke. Don't at me, Fran. By the way, do you know whose stories I had to, or viewing of the stories I had to block? My lawyer, Fran. Because the second I started talking about open containers, that bitch would have fucking thrown my ass in jail just out of protection. She wants me to take a morality clause class and a class on slander because she thinks, I'm like, Fran, let me run, okay? So did we have open containers of alcohol? Of course not. But yes, we absolutely did. And I checked the fine and it was only $25. I thought, I'll eat the cost. It's a business expense. After a long day of antique furniture shopping, yelling into a microphone, and then verbally abusing my husband by sunset, I like to unwind by cooking my family a gorge meal. And since summer's coming up, I thought, you know what, Chimmel? Let's take it to the grill, honey. So in 2023, write this down, there were 120 new grilling cookbooks published, and not a single grilling cookbook was written by a woman. Enter Gabi Dalkin. She's a best-selling author. She's an entrepreneur and creator of the beloved website, What's Gabi Cooking? She is here to change things up. Here is a true story. I have been following Gabi for years. I love her recipes. I think they are innovative. They're attainable. They're easy to execute. They're family friendly. They're the fucking best. And I am so excited for her. I love her cookbooks. I love her recipes. I am someone who's been very intimidated by the grill, and I've read her entire grilling cookbook, and it is top tier. You have to order it. It is a great gift for anyone, a hostess gift. Buy it for yourself, buy it for your husband, and hint, get grilling, bish. You know what I'm saying? So whether it is your first time grilling like me or you're a seasoned pro, What's Gabi Cooking? Grilling All the Things is this summer's hottest cookbook. It's going to help you take the party al fresco, honey, from grilling the perfect steak to cedar plank fish to pizza, fruits, veggies, and everything in between. What's Gabi Cooking? Grilling All the Things features 100 brand new recipes to make this the best summer of your life. No pressure, Gabi. Plus, Gabi reveals her secrets for marinating, spicing, and grilling anything you can think of. I dive for all the tips and tricks that Gabi included in this book. One thing I loved is that she explained the difference between gas and charcoal grilling, and now I can't wait until the next backyard barbecue I'm at, where I get to walk up to whoever's husband is behind the grill and say, "Oh, are you using gas to grill that? It really would taste a lot better with charcoal." Take that, patriarchy! Buy your copy of this summer's hottest cookbook, What's Gabi Cooking? Grilling All the Things, available everywhere that books are sold. Could not endorse this more. Love it. Love Gabi. Go get it immediately. My favorite part about being pregnant was not having my period, and if I could get pregnant again just to not deal with period symptoms anymore, then knock me up, sister, okay? Luckily, I don't have to do that because it's easier to manage PMS with Estrocontrol. Estrocontrol is a formula developed by Happy Mammoth, a supplement company dedicated to making women's lives easier. Estrocontrol contains science-backed herbal extracts that help support hormonal health, so it's perfect for premenopausal women who suffer from PMS. Ding, ding, ding. In fact, it's amazing for perimenopause when hormones start to fluctuate and your PMS symptoms get really freaky. The ingredients in Estrocontrol help support the liver where estrogen is processed. So when the estrogen isn't processed well in the liver, women may start having PMS and all the terrible symptoms with it: spots on the skin, crazy cravings, feeling low out of nowhere. Now with Estrocontrol, you don't have to lose a week out of every month because of PMS. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com and just use the code Jackie at checkout. So during all of this, I'm surrounded by all these beautiful people who came out to support me, and they can tell that I'm starting to lose a little hope and optimism. So, like empathetic strangers do, they're like, "Don't worry, it's probably in the next queue. We're having so much fun. Don't worry." And I'm like, "I'm so sorry. It's a Friday night and oh God, I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time." So what do? I saunter into the local Starbucks and I start buying protein boxes because now I think at least I could give the people some appetizers. I'm like, "Hard-boiled egg, anybody? A sliced Granny Smith? A cheddar on a Cars cracker? Anyone want a scone?" I'm fully spiraling now because not only am I embarrassed, pissed, I also feel a moral obligation to give these people some form of an experience because they showed up for me, and I'm trying to keep morale alive. I'm trying to boost the morale of the crew because I am so obviously plummeting, pissed, and humiliated at this entire situation. So I'm smiling through the tears, calling everyone with a pulse, being like, "Where's the fucking billboard? Protein box, anyone? What the fuck's going on? I haven't seen it once. NASDAQ has it out for me. Fuck the fencers. Hard-boiled egg, anyone?" I am fully sweating. I'm spiraling. Everyone can feel it. I don't have a great poker face. I'm getting encouraging rubs on the back from strangers telling me it's going to be okay. And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. Honestly, this is hilarious. Could you die? Meanwhile, dying inside, thinking about my son, who I left high and dry so that I could go do this bullshit. And I'm just all of the feelings all at once. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Okay. Starring Michelle Yeoh. Was she in that? Fuck, I hope so. God, I hope so. It's going to be bad for business. And Jackie Schimmel. After 2 hours, they started dropping like flies. You know, people had things to do in a New York minute. So I started giving people the green light to get the fuck out of there. And, you know, you could see them walk away just deflated and empty. And I'm hardly the empath of the century, but I started absorbing everyone's disappointments. And I was not carrying them quite as gracefully as everybody else. You know, I am, the rosacea was at a, I don't know, 14 and a half. And I was just genuinely embarrassed. And I have to say, it was borderline refreshing because I do not get embarrassed. I forgot what being embarrassed felt like. It has been so long, and it's not that I live such a touched, gifted life, which I do believe. I feel very #blessed 99.9% of the time, but I just don't get embarrassed. I mean, when this is your job and I've lived as myself for so long, it's just those embarrassing moments have lost their luster. I could shit myself in an auditorium with every single person I know and 50,000 strangers and live stream it, and I wouldn't be embarrassed. Like, I wouldn't. So this was a different type of embarrassment because it was just the foundation of the situation is embarrassing because I'm asking people to come look at me on a billboard, which is, you know, hindsight disgusting. So that in itself, that baseline is already pretty cringe embarrassing. So then when you just tack on all of these other qualifying factors, it becomes a trauma tiramisu, you know, layer after layer. 3 hours later, it was time to wheel my blue igloo filled with melted ice, blue cheese olives, tears, dreams, and deflated ego back to fucking Tribeca. I looked around, there was only 3 people standing, and it was just the bottom of the barrel emotionally. I finally had to call it. You know, the dream had died. The hopes have withered. What once was an environment of, I don't know, a glimmer behind the eye, a little razzle dazzle, if you will, was now starting to feel a bit like a memorial service, which was ironic, being that it was Memorial Day weekend. It started to feel very, very somber, and my insides were doing overtime trying to, like, you know, keep it positive because that's what I do. I felt like a fucking camp counselor. And then finally, I just had to look around. I said, guys, it's a goddamn wrap. And we all kind of just did a slow, somber nod and parted ways. And, you know, I offered to give the videographer a ride home so that OTF footage, that stands for on the fly, is going to be pretty interesting. I do have the whole thing documented of me manically calling people on the Uber ride home. It's all very Valerie Cherish. So there will be some Times Square Despair docuseries that I will put out on the internet because, you know, when life hands you shit, we make art. Jackie, it couldn't possibly get worse from there, could it? Well, yes, it could, Brenda, because what I thought was the apex of my trauma tiramisu still needed a little cocoa powder, okay? I get back to my hotel room. I say to Raymond, I need some solitude. You know, I just need to sit with my thoughts. I went from extreme serotonin boost to just a complete 180, really down in the dumps, and needed to process, needed to internally heal through solitude and by way of room service and, you know, opening a beautiful bottle of something. So I get back to my hotel room, okay? I'm in my robe. Now, what started off as a setting of congratulatory effort. People had sent me beautiful champagne and cookies and macaroons and flowers. Like, it was all so sweet. Everyone's like, so proud of you, such a big moment. Take it all in. Like, awesome job, girly. All the sad sentiments from people in my life. And as soon as I got back to the hotel, just drowning in my solemnness, the doorbell started ringing, and room service, ding, room service, ding. What was first an act of congratulations soon became sentiments of condolences. So my room looked like a motherfucking shiva. The only thing that was missing was a deli platter. And I was in New York, and I did get a smoked salmon bagel. So it did kind of feel reminiscent of, I don't know, my grandfather's funeral, my mother's funeral, my aunt's funeral, every funeral I've ever been to in my life. So then I started to get really fucking triggered. When I tell you that I was both hysterically laughing and crying at the same time for 3.5 hours in my hotel room. It's like, when I left the hotel, because I'm so obnoxious and stupid, I leave the hotel, I look at the reception desk, I'm like, off to Times Square, I'll tell you about it later. Don't ask questions about the cooler, just like slinging bits on my way out. And then I arrive back to my hotel just totally deflated with the fucking cooler, like leaking ice all over the beautiful marble fucking lobby. And I get back to my hotel, and you can just tell that it was like they knew not to ask any fucking questions. And without like any time lapse, the second I get into my hotel, I sit in silence for 14 minutes. And I'm getting all these calls from like my dad and my sister. How was it? How was it? Send us your video. So proud of you. And then somebody somewhere clued them into the news that it was a fucking bust. And without pause, 15 minutes later, the fucking doorbell, ding, room service, ding, room service. And you could tell even the room service attendant felt bad for me, because she was the one writing the notes being like, fuck NASDAQ, so sorry about this. Like, it's all good. Just remember, we love you. Like, we still so proud of you, honey. Like, it was just like molten salt in the open fucking wound. I'm just sitting there in my robe. And my little, just that last touch of highlighter, just, for the lights. And I am dying. I was laughing / crying for 3.5 hours. And I was hosting like both a solo Shiva and also some form of like a wine tasting event, because I had so many fucking bottles. I was like, let's start with the Perrier Joel. And I just sitting there. Hysterical. It was so funny, because just like 6 hours later, I was like, wouldn't it be funny if nobody showed up? It would be funnier if a lot of people showed up and then the billboard never fucking ran. That's worse. That didn't even occur to me. Oh, the next detail. Okay, I was thinking of omitting, but it truly is the cocoa powder on the trauma tiramisu. I may be terrible at starting new healthy habits, but I found that even if I can't hit all of my health goals, I can certainly force my dog to, and that feels almost just as good. The Farmer's Dog makes feeding real healthy dog food easy and convenient, and your dog will absolutely love it. We switched Leo and Richard over to the Farmer's Dog years ago, and I can't tell you the worlds of difference. It honestly feels like Leo has a new lease on life, okay? He's like a new dog. His coat is shinier, his breath is better, his digestive system is rocking, okay? And Honestly, I couldn't recommend it more for any dog at any life stage. The Farmer's Dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food right to your door. It is developed by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from real meat and veggies to the safety standards of human food. So, if you've ever had the freaky little urge to try your pet's food, now's your chance, okay? Plus, they send the pre-portioned dog food specifically for your dog based on their unique nutritional needs. So it's so easy to help your dog maintain their ideal weight. And dogs at a healthy weight can live up to 2.5 years longer. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/Bible. Plus, you're going to get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/Bible to get 50% off. That is thefarmersdog.com/Bible. Okay, so after sitting my solo Shiva, okay, and I would like to just, make my comedy caveats because I can hear the 1-star reviews. Really, Jackie spent a whole episode complaining about a billboard. Get over yourself. There's real problems in the world. I fucking know, but this is escapism, okay? It's all jokes. I go to sleep just fine every night. I'm not actually legitimately complaining, except a little bit, okay? Stop denying me my feelings, okay? And a emotional output. You fucking dumb cunt. Really, Jackie, are we supposed to feel sorry for you? Of course not. I am hardly the pity party princess of the West. Let me have this and we'll keep it fucking moving, okay? So, I do what I do best in moments of trauma. I isolate and I meander the streets of New York. I have a little cry. I write a few strongly worded emails. I curse the day NASDAQ was born and, decide I'm going to pull out of the stock market entirely and start a one-woman vendetta against the NASDAQ marketing team and the American women's fencing team and P. Diddy all at the same time. I just decide that I'm going to reframe and really change the world for good. So after this whole fiasco, I've sat with it, I've processed, we've moved on. I think, fuck it, Schimmel, you're in New York. Let's go. Get out of your hotel room sobbing around, you stupid bitch. You know what I mean? So, this is not a flex. This isn't a name drop situation. This is just imperative to storytelling. The very next social interaction that I have post Billboard Gate, and obviously I'm dramatizing for effect, okay, is a dinner with my dear friend Jennifer Lawrence and Dakota Johnson. Just the three of us. And as if the humiliation was not enough of sitting in Times Square for 3 hours with innocent bystanders feeling sorry for me, then to go to a dinner, okay, on the tail end of that with 2 A-list celebrities and tell them what just happened, why you're in New York, how you sat there for 3 hours looking at the billboard for 15 seconds for your sad, stupid little podcast, and all the empathy that comes with it. Because, actors are empathetic people. They're just like you and I. Stars, they're just like us. Actually, they're not just like us. And by us, I mean me, because I'm not empathetic or sensitive. And to see the look on their faces when I told them the sad little story, being like, wow, that fucking sucks. That's terrible. I'm like, no, it was fine. Like, I don't really care. Like, you know me, like, I'm like not into myself like that. Like, I don't care. Like, whatever. Like, I'm a fucking loser. Who cares? They're like, no, that's sad. And I'm like, no, it's not really that sad though. And they're like, yeah, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And, I'm like, no, it's not. I'm fine. I'm just LOLs all day, every day. I'm not upset. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not humiliated. I didn't leave my son and my husband and come with bad roots to go sit in Times Square and brave chlamydia so that I could look at myself on a fucking billboard. Like, it's fine. No, that sucks. Yeah, okay, maybe it sucks a little bit. Can I get another martini? So that was fun. And then I changed my flight and came home a day early so that I could motorboat my son. I proceeded on my journey home, knowing that there was a light at the end of the tunnel, to tell everybody with a pulse, and even that was questionable, about my traumatic experience. I decided to walk down to the river. Was it a river? Is it a lake? Is it an ocean? I'm not really good with natural elements, but I decided to just saunter down to the river and look out into the abyss and just have moments of closure. And I proceeded from the point of the river to the point of me getting on the plane to tell no less than 418 people about what happened, because that's the only way that I know how to do things, is like I have to just trauma dump on everybody. After I broke the seal in a private dining room under the hot lights with Jennifer and Dakota, I decided that, the seal had been ripped off and now I needed to just tell everybody with a fucking pulse. So I'm down at the river. I told, 4 people on a run. I made my way back to my hotel. I told everybody in the hotel. I get on the flight, and luckily one of the flight attendants, shout out to Erin, came and sat next to me, and she was like, I listened to your podcast or whatever. And I was like, did you hear about New York? She's like, no. I'm like, bring the vodka, Erin. Make it a double. I brought some olives from the lounge, and I start making makeshift martinis. And I proceeded to tell her the entirety of this story. She was like, I just was kind of coming to say hi. Didn't really need you to unload on me. Okay. I've got 5 more hours on this flight. And I was like, can you believe it, Erin? I was like, flew all the way, left my son. She's like, hey, nice chatting with you, psycho. Bye. See you later. And then, from that point on, it was just really a wrap. So now I'm back on American soil. If you can hear the jackhammers going off, we are just immersing ourselves in another home project. We're redoing the powder room because Clyde's fraternity birthday party is just around the corner, and we're serving a roofie birthday smash cake. So got to get those antique tiles in. Anywho, thank you for listening to my sad little story. We will be back next week, just with the hope, a glimmer of hope behind the eyes, and a hop, skip, and a jump, a pep in the step, and just more superfluous updates. Actually, there's just one more thing. So I get home, okay? And Andrew's like, there's a new Beach Boys documentary that I've been saving for us to watch. I'm like, yay, Andrew, dreams do come true. I was really hoping just to see Ramona Singer verbally assault Bethany Frankel on a bridge, which, by the way, the Chanel of it all, this bitch doesn't take a day off. Nobody cares. By the way, how fucking ding-a-ling are you? You're going to make a whole spectacle about not getting let into a Chanel because you needed an appointment. In the past 4 years, do you know, about the robberies and looting and all of, the chaos and just mayhem that's been run on retail stores, especially luxury retail stores? So yeah, it's appointment fucking only. It has nothing to do with the way that you're dressed. Not everything is about you, Bethany. It's so self-gratuitous. It's so tone deaf. And then she's like, goes back the next day for content. Imagine the effort of being like, we're going to go back to Chanel. I'm going to put makeup on. I'm going to put an outfit on. And then we're going to film me walking into a Chanel looking fly just to prove who wrong. What is your mission statement, Bethany? What's the agenda, Bethany? Who fucking cares? And how much tighter can you wring out that sad sponge? Okay. Because it is twisted. It is turned. We're done. It's too much fucking effort. Relax, dim the lights. That's coming from me, okay? Just nobody, you versus Chanel. Is it you versus everything? Read the temperature of a room. And by the way, regardless of everything, if that was all true too, still nobody cares. Cut it out. It's weird. Okay, for lack of better words, writer girl Carol Radziwill, it's weird. You're being weird. The whole thing, start to finish, it's weird. It's not impactful. It's not funny. It's odd. The whole thing freaks me out because I trusted her so much. Season 1, Roni, I was like, this bitch gets it. She's one of us. She's in the know. And then to see someone just completely poltergeist from themselves. I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I need clarity. And when someone thinks their finger is so on the pulse and it couldn't even be further away from the pulse, and they think they're in on the joke but they're not in on the joke, makes me nervous as a viewer and as a content consumer, and I am transfixed by it. It is kook-a-doodle-doo, okay? And for someone who was such a enforcer of other people's behaviors, watching hers blows my goddamn mind. So I get home last night and I'm like, I just don't have the bandwidth to do anything. So Andrew's like, I got us some kebabs and we're going to watch the Beach Boys documentary. And I'm like, yay, August rush, clap, clap, clap. So, We sit down to watch the Beach Boys documentary, okay? And I'm hanging on for dear goddamn life. Within 13 seconds, Andrew is hysterically crying because Andrew, I mean, he would suck any one of those Beach Boys dicks. The reason that I want to dress up as I Am Sam for Halloween, I will be Michelle Pfeiffer, Clyde will be Dakota Fanning, and Andrew will obviously be Sean Penn as Sam, because they have a lot of similarities. They love the Beatles. They both worked at Starbucks as baristas and, other obvious notions. But Andrew idolizes Paul McCartney and Brian Wilson. The Beach Boys to him, he says, is the most musically genius, simple, like he is just obsessed, and like Pet Sounds is his love language. So the second he hears any 3 notes of a Beach Boys song, instant fucking tears, okay? So My Father of the Bride is his Beach Boys documentary. So we're watching, he is completely tearing up, and all the while, I'm just trying to half watch this fucking documentary. He is narrating the whole thing. He's like, you understand that they changed the music industry. They didn't even, they tapped into a California sound before most other bands. And if you put this on paper and you hear about the harmonies, like it has influenced almost every other pop. And he's just going on, and he's like, Brian Wilson, he wasn't even the lead singer. He's just a musical genius, and, would fall behind the scenes. And he was just the way that he orchestrates and the way that he uses vocals as instruments. I'm like, I look at him, I go, Andrew, shut the fuck up. And he's like, what? I'm like, let me watch this goddamn documentary, okay? I barely fucking care. Can you just let me sit here? I don't need Rain Man narrating. Why don't you call fucking Netflix and see if you can get a gig as the narrator for the next documentary? But in the interim, can you shut the fuck up? And then he just, like, a tear rolled down his face. And I was like, sorry, came in too hot. That was rude. I'm broken, and I'm acting out from a place of sadness and deep humiliation. And then we just, wouldn't it be nice if we were older? And then we went to bed, and now we're here. Thank you everyone so much for listening. I'll be back next week. It'll be, a more uplifting show. But until then, the rear view mirror is smaller than the windshield for a reason. No looking back. She got blinded by the lights, and they fucking burnt her. See you next week. Goodbye.